Quick question, and please be honest.
Really honest, no hiding.
Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to talk to someone in English?
A stranger, a colleague, someone interesting at a party or an event.
And you just stood there, silent,
Not because you didn't want to speak.
but because you had absolutely no idea how to start.
What do you say first? What if they don't understand? What if there's an awkward silence?
What if you say the wrong thing and it becomes weird?
The what ifs, the endless what ifs.
So here is our question for today, and hold on to this.
Ready?
What is the hardest part of starting a conversation in English for you?
The first word, the first sentence, not knowing what to say after hello?
By the end of this video, you will have real answers, real phrases, real confidence.
Starting a conversation in English with anyone will never feel the same again.
Stay with us. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Kate.
And I'm Martin, and we are so genuinely happy you are here today.
Today's topic, starting conversations in English. This is one I feel very personally about.
Me too, actually, Kate, because for a long time, I was the person in the corner at social events.
The corner person.
The very comfortable corner person, holding my drink, watching everyone else talk, looking very busy with my phone.
The phone strategy. Classic.
Oh, the phone strategy is so common. You pretend you have a very important message to read.
Extremely important. Life-changing message from nobody.
From nobody, but it looks purposeful, and purposeful is better than awkward.
Martin, tell them what happened when you finally stopped hiding in the corner.
Okay, so work event, international conference, very important people. Many languages, and I decided tonight I will start a conversation with a stranger in English.
Brave decision, Martin.
Very brave. I walked up to a man standing alone and I said, with full confidence, "Hello, I am Martin. Do you come here often?"
Martin, that is a dating line, not a networking line.
I know that now, Kate. At the time, I thought it was a perfectly normal English opener.
What did he say?
He looked at me very strangely and said, "Well, it is a conference center, so no, not usually."
He was so confused.
Completely confused. And then there was a silence, a very long silence. And then he walked away.
He escaped, Martin.
He absolutely escaped, and I went straight back to my corner and my phone.
The corner was waiting for you.
Always. The corner never judges. But Kate, I bet you have a story too.
I do, and mine involves a supermarket.
Oh no.
I was trying to practice my English conversation skills, and I decided I will start a conversation with the person next to me in the queue.
Good idea in theory.
In theory, yes. So I turned to a very nice-looking woman and I said, "Excuse me, do you know how long this queue usually takes?"
Perfect opener. Normal. Relevant.
Perfectly fine question. And she answered. And then, because I wanted to keep the conversation going, I panicked and said the next thing that came into my head.
Which was
"I like your trolley."
her shopping trolley.
Her shopping trolley, Martin. I told a stranger I liked her trolley.
Kate, what was special about the trolley?
Nothing. It was a completely normal trolley. I just didn't know what to say next, and that was the closest object.
You complimented a trolley, a piece of supermarket equipment.
She said, "Oh, thank you," very uncertainly, and then she moved away from me in the queue.
She physically relocated, Kate.
She did, and I don't blame her. I had just expressed admiration for her trolley.
The trolley compliment. I think that is the most unique conversation opener in history.
Uniquely terrible. But here's the thing, Martin. We both survived those moments.
We did, and we learned from them.
And today, we pass that learning on, so nobody has to compliment a trolley.
Or ask a professional contact if they come here often.
Learn from our mistakes, everyone. Let's begin. 7 powerful ways to start a conversation with anyone in English, from the very first word to keeping it going to making it memorable.
Real phrases, real techniques, real examples.
Not, hello, my name is, not, do you come here often?
Please, not that one.
Definitely not that one. Ready? Way 1.
Way 1. Use the situation around you.
This is the golden rule of conversation starting and the most underused technique.
You never need to think of something clever to say because the situation is always giving you material.
Where are you? What is happening around you? What can you both see?
At a work event, have you been to one of these before?
In a class or workshop, are you finding this as interesting as I am?
In a queue, I didn't realize it would be this busy today.
Waiting somewhere? Do you know if it usually takes this long?
These openers work because they are relevant. They connect to the shared experience.
Both people are in the same situation, so the topic is automatically interesting to both.
No need to invent something clever, just notice what is around you and comment on it.
Way 2. Give a genuine compliment about something specific.
And Martin, before you say anything, not the trolley.
I was going to say a specific compliment is powerful because it shows you have actually noticed something about the person.
Not a general, nice bag, but something that leads to conversation.
That is a really interesting book. What is it about?
I loved your question earlier. Really made me think.
Your presentation was so clear. How long have you been doing this?
Notice the pattern. Compliment plus question.
The compliment opens the door. The question invites the person to walk through it.
And suddenly, you are not starting a conversation, you are already having one.
That transition from opening to having is what most learners miss.
The opener is not the whole thing. It is just the first step.
Open the door, ask a question, let them walk through.
Way 3. Ask for a recommendation or opinion.
Oh, this one, Kate. This is one of my favorites.
Tell them why, Martin.
Because people love sharing opinions, recommendations, preferences. It makes them feel like an expert.
And when someone feels like an expert, they become more comfortable and more talkative.
For example, you're at a restaurant with a colleague, you don't know what to order. You say, "Have you been here before? What would you recommend?"
Instant conversation, instant engagement.
Or at a conference, "Which session are you most looking forward to today?"
Or at a bookshop, I'm looking for something new to read. What have you enjoyed recently?
All of these give the other person something specific and enjoyable to respond to,
And you learn something about them at the same time.
which makes the follow-up conversation much easier.
Because now you have information, and information keeps conversations alive.
Way 4, use the phrase, "I was just thinking."
Oh, this is a beautiful one. Very natural, very conversational.
"I was just thinking" signals that you are sharing something real, something in the moment.
Not a prepared speech, not a formal question.
Just a genuine thought that you want to share.
I was just thinking, this coffee is really much better than I expected.
"I was just thinking it's amazing how many people came to this event."
I was just thinking, this presentation is giving me so many ideas.
It sounds natural because it is natural. It sounds spontaneous because it is spontaneous.
And the person next to you thinks, oh, this person is interesting. This person has thoughts.
As opposed to, "This person likes my trolley."
Martin.
I will never let it go, Kate. It is too good.
Fine. Moving on. Way 5. Find common ground fast.
This technique is about moving a conversation from small talk to real connection, quickly.
Small talk is fine, but people remember conversations that felt real.
So find one thing you have in common with this person as early as possible.
Oh, you work in marketing too? How long have you been in that field?
You are from Italy? I studied Italian for 2 years. I love the culture.
You're also learning English? That is brilliant. How long have you been studying?
When you find common ground, the conversation changes.
It goes from 2 strangers exchanging information,
To 2 people discovering they have something shared.
and that discovery, that small moment of connection,
That is what makes people remember a conversation.
That is what makes them want to continue talking.
Common ground is the bridge between a start and a real conversation.
Way 6. Know 3 go-to topics, always.
This is practical preparation, and it makes a huge difference.
Before any English-speaking situation, choose 3 topics you can talk about comfortably.
Topics you know, topics you enjoy, topics that are easy for you in English.
For me, my 3 go-to topics are travel, food, and work.
For me, books, language learning, and weekend plans.
And when a conversation slows down, when there is a silence,
You pull out one of your go-to topics.
actually, have you traveled much? I just got back from somewhere amazing.
Speaking of which, have you tried anywhere good for food around here recently?
So, what do? Are you enjoying it?
These are not random questions. They are your prepared tools.
And having them prepared means you never run out of things to say,
The awkward silence never gets too long.
because you have your topics ready, waiting.
Like a good bag, always packed with what you need.
Unlike the trolley, which only inspired confusion.
Martin, I said let it go.
I physically cannot. And way 7, the most important.
Listen more than you talk.
This might surprise you, because most people think starting a conversation is about what you say.
But the best conversationalists in any language are actually the best listeners.
When you truly listen, people feel seen, valued, interesting.
And when people feel interesting, they want to keep talking to you.
Practical listening phrases in English.
That is really interesting. Tell me more.
Oh, I had no idea. How did that happen?
Wow, and what did you do?
I can imagine that must have been.
These phrases show you are present, you are engaged, you care.
And in English, caring sounds fluent, even when your grammar is not perfect.
Because people respond to warmth, to attention, to genuine interest.
More than they respond to perfect sentences.
So listen well, ask one follow-up question, and let the conversation build itself.
Because a great conversation is not something you perform.
It's something you create together with another person.
And now, you have the tools to start that creation.
Way 5. Find common ground fast.
Before we finish, our question of the day, and it connects to the question we asked at the very start.
We asked, what is the hardest part of starting a conversation in English for you?
Write your answer in the comments below, in English, just one sentence.
The hardest part for me is, finish that sentence.
Or tell us which of the 7 ways will you try first.
I will try the situational opener next time. Or I will use my 3 go-to topics.
Or I will not compliment anyone's trolley.
Always the trolley.
The trolley is in every episode now. It lives here.
Write your comment below, everyone. We read every single one.
Every single one, and we genuinely love hearing from you.
If this video helped, give it a big like.
Subscribe to Daily English Boost, new lessons.
Click the bell so you never miss us.
And share this with one friend who struggles to start English conversations.
You might be the reason they finally speak up.
From both of us.
Start talking, keep listening, and please compliment the person, not the trolley. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And Martin sincerely apologizes to all conference attendees he is confused with dating lines.
And Kate apologizes to the trolley. See you next time.
Bye.